Hello, I'm Jack, and it's November 2025, and I've spent most of the month sitting here on my bottom with my throbbing foot looking out in the garden. But surprisingly, we have seen quite a lot of people. Let me tell you all about it.
So I'm not the only one laid up. Mel's got a bad back, which means the two of us were sitting there groaning. But I did go off to London town on the train. It's time to get the bandages off. There are a lot of complaints about photographs of my feet, but I think this new one of the two of them looking beautiful. I don't know what the word for a foot fetish is, but I think you'll all agree, good looking feet, good looking feet. A second surprise trip to London. Mel and I went up and surprised Thomas on his birthday. It had been organised by Agent Daniel and Agent Millie, and we all had a fabulous time in the pub, Chinese food. Ellie and Darius turned up, and the next day went to see Thomas living in palatial splendour in Millie's house. And I think, isn't he looking good? Yes, he's looking very good. Also went down to Swansea. Here's the bay, and here's Griff as a work of art. And then the real thing, a little photograph of Mr. Eccles, also looking very good as well. So we had a nice long chat, and they treated me to a Joe's ice cream. And we talked about videos because I've just finished the early years of Bishop Gore. There's the school tie and the rugby medal. So that was a very nice time in Swansea. Also been to Cirencester a fair bit. Yes, went to the Corinium Museum for jazz. That was Ian organised that. Thank you, Ian. Ian organised film night as well, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I had to have it explained to me. Something about philosophy, didn't really understand it. Didn't really understand Severance either, which is about people bickering in a room, but according to Mel, it's something to do with Jean-Paul Sartre, and hell is other people. So I'll pretend I understand that. We did go to Stroud though. Stroud, good old hippie town, so you'd expect mushrooms. And in other parts of Europe, you get good old hippie mushrooms as well. So we had a nice time there with Gary and Jackie and Janet. Good luck to Gary. He's getting better, and so's Karma. So that's very, very good news. And then, yes, a third trip to London. This is a real humdinger. With my old mate Chris, we're going to all the club dinner, agreed to share a hotel room. Mr. Needham was there. He'd booked this pub, which is fabulous. And Lizzie turned up. Always very, very nice to see Lizzie. And here's Mr. Needham in his element, chatting the girls up. And then in this amazing Inns of Court hall with all paneling and pictures. A picture of St. Paul, I think we think it is. Quite something. And the buildings look just absolutely fabulous at night time. So Chris had decided he wanted to go down the river. I couldn't walk very far. And just look at the number of iconic buildings we went past. You see St. Paul's, yes? There's the Tate Modern and the Shard, yeah? You've got all the bridges, which are looking just absolutely fabulous. You've got the walkie-talkie here, and the building on the left of it, I used to go in there to work with Nat West. Tower of London, don't get much more iconic than the Tower of London, guarded by HMS Belfast, and then on to Tower Bridge. And as you boat was really powering along through, so it soon disappeared. I think this is a Hawksmoor church here on the way down to Docklands. And then Canary Wharf, I can't even see the main tower anymore. There's such a cluster there now. You've got the Dome. You've got the Greenwich, which is now Greenwich Museum, where Thomas distinguished himself with a fine academic career. Here's Chris posing on the steps, and then there's Greenwich Church. We kind of went wandering around the place, but I still caught my train. Chris wanted to go to Cutty Sark. There it is, looking splendid. I didn't realise that big blue thing all the way around was essentially a museum. You can not just see the figurehead, but you can go right underneath the boat, and fantastic views of the city behind. And no, this is not the Muppet Show. This is the figurehead collection. So Mel and I were a bit kind of restricted to home. We went on quite a few little trips to Broadway, and this one is for Mel to go to Osbath and me to go to Painswick. Painswick looking glorious on a crisp winter's day, I would say. Cotswold stone really looking nice and pale. And there's the church with its famous yew trees and its stained glass windows, really looking quite something. So that was a good trip for me, not so good for Mel. We also went to the art gallery in Montpellier Square, so I liked that very much. Went past the beer. I'm not sure we went in. Gareth Malone. Concert of two halves. First was brilliant, sing along, Sound of Music. Who doesn't like the Sound of Music? And then Dyer in the second half. He got the format wrong. The rest of the time was in the garden. Now, if you're before Thomas's birthday, which is November 11th, the trees have still got all their leaves and just looking absolutely splendid around the place. The hydrangeas are still kind of hanging on in there, the cherries, the trees on Victoria Walk. But as you go through the month and we mulch all the leaves into the ground, things start to get kind of more and more faded, though a few roses are hanging on. Now, what's Mel up to?
Doing a top job.
Yeah, I'm still not invited into her shed, despite the welcome sign. But yes, it's right late autumn now. And look, you've got Auntie Nancy plant. We tried to kill it, but it's indestructible. We've got the smoke plant and the final mow of the end of November. The trees are looking splendid, but bare. And right at the end of the month, off to Marrakesh. There'll be separate videos on that for the time being. That is November 2025. Thank you very much for watching. I love both of my viewers. I'm very grateful and hope to be here next month. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.